Good evening, everybody. Welcome to BeoTalk number 363.
Shit, we're getting close to the 365, eh?
Yeah, back for another week. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's get some shilling out the way. Let's start the other way around first. Go buy Willie a coffee if you want a guaranteed answer to your question and or topic. It's buymeacoffee.com/BeoWillie. That is our super chat of today. So I'll be monitoring it if there are any questions or anything that comes in.
Yeah, I don't know where my phone is. Somewhere in here. Most
Well, it doesn't matter. I can see it.
Cool.
And go buy something at Skinny Play. Use the promo code to get 10% off, which is always nice. Support the small people around B&O. Because it seems like the only thing we can afford is the small people around B&O these days.
That's it.
And in that same vein, we have Tigrino Studio, also with a discount code for 10% off. Willie needs extra coffees today because he only has flavored coffees.
Oh, yeah, bro. I just gone down fucked up and I picked out of the capsule things, right? For our presso thing, I picked up one of hers, I guess. And it's like a presso with orange peels in it. It's... I will suffer through it because I'm against like pouring coffee out because it's a sacred liquid to me. But yeah, this cup is full of regrets right now. That's for damn sure.
I mean, bourbon and coffee works together. So
my mom's sending me a bottle of bourbon. Thanks, Mom. She is, and tartar sauce. So I'm fucking stoked.
Sweet. And if you haven't yet already, come join the Discord.
Find out a lot of things about things and things.
Yeah, and be the first to know and have conversations and stuff. And yeah, works really well. So that's about it for the shilling. How was your week?
Not bad. A lot of chiseling into the rock.
Oh, for all the wires and stuff.
Yeah, they decided after the concrete was poured that we need to run 2 wires for Lutron keypads into the columns of this apartment thing that we're doing, right? The condo, I guess, whatever you want to call it. It's fucking huge. So yeah, I spent a good part of yesterday or Friday morning, because that was one of those, like, I left, you leave the best for last.
Yeah.
So I spent the whole morning carving into the not concrete, but like plaster or whatever, just to channel up, and then recess. I have to carve out the bloody European
Is it all
style.
by hand, or do you have one of these water-cooled saws that you just...
My best friend has become the multi-tool, the little, I call it the plunge cutter, right? The little zinger. Yeah, it goes fucking, if you get a nice, good multi-material bit, it just goes like in the butter. Chicken wire is a little shitty, but you will get through it too. It just takes a little longer. You gotta be careful with the older stuff because, but you gotta be careful with the older stuff. Like I also was cutting in some speakers out into the old plaster ceiling or plaster and lathe, which is a lot of laughs because there's everything in it that you can imagine. But yeah, with the multi-tool, I was able to cut it through. Takes a while, but you got to be careful because the wood is so dry that it starts to burn. And you don't want to set the house on fire by fucking cutting the ceiling.
I've had that happen before where you get that smell, right? And you kind of have to stop.
Oh, dude, but it's like smoky, man. I'm like, ooh, I put it down for a bit. Oh, call this.
Oh, yeah, I did that. I put all different locks on in our house, and one of the doors wasn't pre-cut for a deadbolt yet, so I had to do that.
Sweet.
And, it started smoking, and it's like, ooh, that was a bit too fast, too quick.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that. But yeah, overall, that's about it. But I guess the highlight of the week was that Friday I snuck in to the B&O store before they closed to check out the BeoGrace.
Mm-hmm.
I was fucking blown away, dude, by sound, honestly. The money is in the sound. or value of it is in the sound. That's where it is. Like, obviously you can't compare the massive product that you buy for what you buy, right? Because
Yes.
it's earbuds. But it's still a little bit half baked in my opinion. Like, there's this little click pinch that you pinch the actual posts to skip tracks. Like, it works, but I just, maybe it's just my dumbass that I didn't play around with it to figure out exactly where that spot really is. But I just hope that the battery is serviceable on them, because for that money, like, you really want them to last at least, I would say, a decade, right? Like, I don't know if I'm dreaming as far as how long the earbuds could last, but I still have a pair of A8s that are 20-something year old, right? Obviously, they're not battery powered; they're dumb wired headphones or earphones, but still,
I think that's the major difference, right? Like, wired, it can last for pretty much forever. If you're gentle with it, but
yeah, because I know that there was a topic that was touched on Discord regarding that like the up to now, I guess, recent outlook or view of people on B&O's headphones or earbuds that they've had for a while, that the battery doesn't last that long, or the case gives problems usually, and but I haven't seen that in a while, but I guess they figure out the EXs. 11s, I don't think they're worth it at all, because there's not much step up from the EXs versus, like, if you're gonna spend that money, I understand it's a fucking huge step to go with the earbuds for 1,800 Canadian dollars or whatever they are. Let's call them 1,500 US, I guess.
Yeah, it's 1,200 euro
or 1,200 euro. So yeah, that's a big step. But to me, as an earbud guy, I would buy them over the H100s for a few simple reasons. One, they don't cook your ears off. You can wear them outside. B, I wear sunglasses, and the Juliets have frames that little stick out, so you lose that seal naturally immediately, right? So then the bass is gone, and they let in air and traffic noise and whatever else have you. So I don't. That's why I never really liked the earbuds. Are my go-tos for everything, even in the airplane, because you can actually lean a little bit and not keep with the headphone right in the ear pushing against the headrest and so on and so forth. So for that, I see the value in them. They are exactly the same platform as H100s, right? I didn't try the Tidal shit with the Dolby Atmos because I don't have Tidal installed, and like, it was a quick convo and blah blah blah. And I've listened to a few tracks only, but the ones that my reference tracks, right? Because I'm not gonna go and listen to fucking something that I've never heard. But I was very, very much surprised how much detail there is and everything else. And that was Deezer Hi-Fi, not Tidal, whatever, but it was Deezer Hi-Fi. So, yes, there is hiccups, just like there are with the
H100s. That's the thing that's saving them at the moment.
Yes, so they are, but they are on display, right? They are. You can try them, but the software is half baked. So essentially, my luck was that Kareem was saying that there was a software update that came out Friday morning. It took like 25 minutes to update the earbuds. Mm-hmm. So then they started working correctly because there was some issue and they paired it with somebody else's phone, and all of a sudden they just, I don't know, like there's that volume limiter set on your phone, right? Apparently that just like hard coded itself into the headphones so they wouldn't play louder than unless they were connected to the case. So kind of weird and odd, but again, like if they're not fully out and they are out type of thing in the field, right? Like you can only buy them, I guess, if you put your name down, because they want to know the exact count of people, I guess, of who's buying them right away, immediately type of thing. I don't know.
And also if it matches exactly in terms of what they expect.
I think it's going to be the same as the H100s. There are earbud people that are willing to spend stupid money on crazy headphones earbuds. Mm-hmm. My question is, will they come out with, and I don't know if they did or not, because I forgot to ask Kareem that. I think we did talk about it, but I wonder if they have the memory foam ear pads. Those would be the best. The noise canceling is second to none, quite honestly. Like, I couldn't hear Kareem talking to me from across the table.
That's good.
Almost done the fucking cup. God.
I mean,
I'm at loss for words with this coffee. That's where I'm at.
I do very much like the styling of them. It's just for earbuds, right? Like, it's the money. From personal experience, my first EA 3.0s lasted 2.5 years, but the main reason it became a problem is because in the old system, right, the right was the master, and the right one went. So the left one is still fine. And it's partially because they fell in water and that sort of thing.
Mm.
But like 2.5 years is not that bad, right?
No, but for 1,200 euros, you know, if you have the 5-year warranty, I completely understand it, because I'm sure that in those 5 years you will have some sort of service being done to those, either battery wise or some sort of wise, right? I don't know how many times can you afford to drop them before they get messed up, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got another set of EA 3.0s, and I'm still on them, and they're like, what? I'm now 4.5 years in with those.
Oh, this Buckley's coffee.
So, like, I still have them, and I still use them mostly every day. And
yeah, my current headphones that are earbuds that I use are EXs, but it's not that I'm a frequent user of them, right? I have 2 pairs. So I have one that is 90% phone calls and 10% if I'm in a flight or when I travel, right? Because I don't carry them out anywhere else. And the other set is paired to the TV. So when I don't want to bother her or just hear shit while I'm cooking when the hood fan is on, right?
Yeah.
Don't have to juice the theater. I just put the headphones on and that's it. So what are some of the reference tracks that I'm using for testing? Quite honestly, there are few, but the most go-to one is Depeche Mode Ultra, track number 2, Love Thieves. That mid-range is very, very hard for speakers to reproduce, and they do distort, and it's probably sometimes on the amp and whatever, but with piano, I have never been able to go there. There's also a slight of distortion in one of the channels, which makes you think the speaker's fucked, which took me a while to understand till I had the 90s. I'm like, no, this is in the music because these speakers are fine. And so Depeche Mode, and for more of the digital stuff, I use a lossless track from Ramesses B, Safe Haven. My girlfriend by now hates this track, but I do listen to it because it goes deep. Also, Caspo Kaleidoscope. That track starts very deep, and there are some very crisp highs in it that meet the need of or a requirement, I guess, to play through a digital speaker, because digital music sounds much better nowadays on digital speakers. And ask any Dolby engineer if they prefer digital or analog music, they'll always go with the digital, because even though analogs sounds good, it took them, I think, over 60 years to get there to sound good, where with digital is zeros and ones, and it's exact. It's just how many zeros and ones you allow within a frame of time to be recorded, the more accurate it gets. So those are my main reference tracks that I listen to. And there's whatever else have you, then if there's some new stuff that comes out that is interesting to listen to. Virtual reality with You're Not Alone. I think the original track is good also for that. And that's about it. There's a few more, but I think I have a Deezer test playlist on my Deezer account. So if you go to Beo Willie on Deezer, you can find me there and follow it.
As always, the best reference track is the one you know best.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. And those are the tracks that I've heard ever. Like Depeche Mode Ultra, that album came out, I think, in 1994 or 92. I don't remember exactly. So since then, I've heard that track on every headphone, earbud, speaker, a system, car that I've ever sat inside of, because I would always carry that. Like back in the day, you run around with the backpack full of CDs and shit.
Released in 97.
Okay, 97. So there we go.
Yeah.
And before that was Prodigy. For testing the bass tracks, I think one of the funnest ones is Prodigy Experience, the first album, and I think it's one of the very last. I think it's track number 10, Charlie. And it's about 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 13, 14 seconds into it when it just goes to the straight bass, and that's where you can test and basically see which one of your frames or picture frames on the walls are loose and correct your room accordingly. Fucking bass goes hot, heavy and hard. Another one that is good bass test track would be Chemical Brothers' Under the Influence album. Under the Influence track number 2, I think it is, where the bass just goes. It's like an airplane flying over your head. It's fucking great. So those are the ones that I would recommend testing. But the Grace has surprising amount of bass and how clean it is. It literally sounded to me like my 90s back in the old apartment before I had French neighbors.
Well, that's good. I mean, at least it's worth the money and sound.
It is, and I think that's where a lot of that cost was buried into research and how to fit it into these little earbuds. Because I think the hardware-wise, they've been there for a long time with these chips and shit, right? Like if you compare to like how much iPhone is nowadays, it's literally a little square beside all the lenses. The rest is battery nowadays, right?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
So how much computing power does that have? So if you just, however much of this you cut off that is essential for these earbuds, the rest is, I think the biggest thing is still the battery inside. Yes. I don't know if most of the circuit boards are inside the little tube, because the tube has got to be thin enough that, because it's supposed to be, when you squeeze it, you're supposed to squeeze it once for play pause, double squeeze or double tap for skipping a track or reversing a track, and I believe the other one is for the active noise canceling. The volume thing that you're supposed to slide on your head doesn't work yet. So
I mean, I doubt there's much of the board and or battery in the stem, because it has microphones in the stem, it has the sensors in the stem, obviously.
Probably that's what it's loaded with, yeah.
It needs antennas essentially in there as well.
I think the antennas will be somewhere in the earbud, in the plastic part of it. And I also don't think that the board is bigger than the battery itself as far as the thickness and real estate.
I mean, I'm thinking that Test Strike's Radiohead Paranoid Android. It's fantastic. Jamie XX Loud Places, Fleetwood Mac, the chain that has a bunch of everything.
Yes.
Also that once the sort of singing is over and the guitar solo starts, that's led in by the bass, and it's extremely low and loud, like doom 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 doom. So that's a good one, and it's meant to sound semi sloppy, because I mean it's a big bass, obviously, like an actual guitar.
But yeah, that's my take on.
Yeah, if you know some old-fashioned folk song best, right? That's probably the best test track for you.
Quite honestly, the best test track that you can have, or you can have the salesman or whoever is demoing the speakers and whatever playing for you, is the one that you like the most. Play your favorite music. And nowadays, it's absolutely fucking brainless to do with Tidal or Deezer or whatever. Even Spotify, you can connect to it, whatever. And it just works. Like, I understand that there are demo sounds tracks that the store will play for you just to showcase the speakers. But at the end of the day, you should have the ability to, like, if you're about to purchase this, you should have the ability to go and play your own music for a little bit, just to see what it sounds like, not what.
Yeah, we're no longer dependent on if they have the CD or not.
Yeah. Back in the day, I'm from the days when I would tell people, if you want to come buy back, because they usually, it's the B&O is never a purchase on the first try. Rare, unless it's a person that already owns gear and they go in because they know they want it and so on and so forth, then it's a different story. But when somebody walks in, it's Karim can do it, but I've never been able to do it. That you can just do it on a first try. But then again, you don't close a theater on a first day. Like people come back and think about it, especially if it's a bigger deal and so on and so forth. So that's when I would always ask them, like, can you bring the CD and such? Because I'm from the days of BeoSound 9000 connected to the BeoSystem 3 with the lap 5s and 9s in the back with BeoVision 12 as the latest and the greatest. Well, then it was a Avant 85, which was stunningly heavy. Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, I mean, I bet you people back then were thinking, "Oh, this is quite light compared to the BV3 104."
Well, yeah, it was only 115 kilos compared to 260, right? Like, because that TV was 503 kilos on a floor stand with a speaker on the bottom.
Yeah.
Fudge. Yeah, that's Quebecson sold one in was an 83-inch though in here.
I bet you that thing was still altogether close to 200 kilos.
It's almost the same weight.
Yeah,
it's under a half a ton, but yeah, it's disgusting how heavy those things used to be back in the day. Now you're lucky, like what, a 65-inch panel LG, like I can carry that. Like good luck with the BV12 65 or 465. Like there's no way you can lift it by yourself.
I'm thinking, what was it now? A 77-inch Harmony was still like 80 kilos or something like that.
Harmony 75 or 77 Harmony. Yeah, no, I don't know how much those were because it was modular based on what screen you put in. If it was a C panel, it was lighter than the G panel, right?
Yeah.
But those were marginal numbers because it's the sound center that sounds or that weighs the most, essentially.
Yeah.
Then floor stand moving or not, that's another few kilos on top if you do the motorized. And plus the wings, right? If you do 65 versus 83 or 77-inch wings, that's a different story.
Yeah, let's see. I wonder if they list the weight for the 97-inch.
I think it's going to be close to 60 kilo. Yeah, BeoVision 5s were not light either, man, but they were not as heavy as BeoVision 9s, which is also sitting, but not on the wall. It's on the floor because you couldn't wall mount that TV. That was the only TV that was floor standing. That's it, period. That B&O has ever made. There was no mounting option for it. I think STB came up with some nonsense, but not by B&O. But yeah, that TV was, it's still there, still works, knock on wood. But yeah, that's 256 pounds, I think it was. So 125 kilos, I believe it is. Yeah, that was also not a joke to bring.
Yeah, so the 77-inch is the sound center with wings and everything is 75.3, and then the TV is 35. So that's 110. So motorized floor stand is 120 kilos.
Yeah, but you're not lifting that by itself unless you have the skates. That's a different story.
But even so, right, the sound center itself is 75 kilos, which is...
yes, it's a lot of metal.
Yeah.
Well, those legs are not light, I'm sure, either. The pillars, the motorized pillars or actuators.
It seems like the 88 is actually heavier than the 97.
Interesting.
The sound center is 90.7 versus the 97, it's 83. And then the screen is 55 for the 88. And the 97 is 57. So there's only 2 kilos difference in the panel. So that's 145 for just 165 for the 88 with motorized floor stand, and 158 or so, 150 for the 97. It's probably all that crap they have to put on the back for the 8K and the boxes and the extra metal that they have to hide. And
oh, for the 8K TV, yeah. It's a huge assembly, man. I've seen that on the video. It's pretty substantial TV build. But that's on its way out, anyways, as far as the Harmony is, because it's insider info or not, if you look at it logically, the stage, which also is going to be on its way out if it's not already, it's all going out because it's an ASC based platform. It's too old now for being cool with all the Mozart deal.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're just going to update the Harmony, quite honestly. I mean, people have said such. I'm not entirely sure it'll be exactly the same thing. I mean, maybe it'll go for a Harmony next gen or something, right? But it could.
I think they should retain the movement and just change a bunch of things internally.
Yes, that seems what they're gonna be doing. So
that makes total sense logically, and offered more different grills, I guess, and combinations. But that's also atelier now. You can go down the bespoke route if you really want
also
to.
Honestly, if you put the sound DSP, whatever chip, the sound handling bits from the theater in there, right? Like your center channel really doesn't need more speakers than what a Harmony has, if you have anything next to it.
I think what it really needs, in my opinion, is if the center channel, I think, should be on both panels. If that makes sense. I don't know if harmonically that's anti, whatever, but because it's somewhat, I don't know if I have a good hearing, but I can still hear it from a little bit to the side when you just have the center channel. But usually I think the best way to do it is to do it the same principle that we've talked about, that Jeff had suggested for BeoVision Avant long time ago, where you increase the center by 2 dBs, and then you decrease the center channels and on the sides by 1 dB down, and then you increase the distance by 20 centimeters on, or shorter to you or closer to you on the center, and 20 centimeters further back from the original measurement on those sides, quote unquote centers. And that gives you the more or less an acoustic lens effect.
Yes. But if you, I don't know, like me, right? Like if you have 50s or 90s next to it, like
that center is irrelevant if you're doing it like me with one chair, no friends, and girlfriend in the bedroom.
I mean, I still think you're much better off if you want height effects to just actually use speakers for it.
Oh, 100%.
It's not the same. Like, yes, the upfiring works to an extent, but it's almost more an illusion than an actual sound.
But that whole virtual channel stuff is basically based on it is based on binaural technology, right? Yes. And they're only using left and right channels for it. They're the top and side firing are not really utilized for that experience.
I mean, if you use the theater as the triangle, what they first sort of said, right? The theater is way better than the Harmony in that sort of situation.
Hands down, the performance on its own. Like the Harmony needs a 19 with that.
David says, when do you think the new stage is likely to come out? Peter Tyson UK seems to be reducing the cost for the stage in all colors. Drop.com did as well. If I had to guess, it would be before Christmas. And then
they're going to come up with something for the November 17th, I'm sure.
Then there's also the difference, right? Like, is it like this launch with the headphones where you can't buy them for 2 months, or
is it going to be purchasable immediately or available for purchase immediately? But yeah, they're pulling the same nonsense as they did with the Harmony, but they only had the traveling pair to show it off, and then 3 months later you could buy it. So I don't understand why are they so skittish about producing or mass producing their first batch of product, because that's when the wow and I want it is the most, right? That's when the pan is the hottest when it comes out. So longer you wait, the less you can cook on it, in my opinion. So
look, there's a lot of things we will never know, but I suspect it's a bunch of spreadsheet people in the back offices that come up with this nonsense. They may also have a strategy of like the first, I don't know, 500 or so, get this price, and then it's going to go up again or something like that. And that's somehow going to create more buzz, or
maybe.
I mean, all I know is they change salespeople quite often, so it's
yeah, it's pretty tough.
It's a bit schizophrenic at times over there.
But yeah, I don't know. I just hope that the software will be baked fully when they are becoming available for actual sale.
I mean, between you and I, right? Like, I would put money on our market analysis being comparable to theirs, which they spend actual money on, and we wouldn't even have to do anything.
Well, because we've been around it for decades now.
Yeah, but I mean, we couldn't justify it, but it would be a feeling, but it would be more accurate than what they actually have people making spreadsheets on.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a disconnect between what's should be happening and what is happening. But yeah, I think that these headphones or earbuds should have been available, not like Kareem couldn't even order 7 pairs. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, you should be able to order, at least in my opinion, each store should have a 20 allocated. That's it. And then you have your money for your investors to show that you're making profit and blah, blah, blah. And somewhat get the people on the sales side stuck with them. It's sad to say, but they will still sell no matter what.
Yeah,
like, I don't have a worry of that at all.
For Denmark, right? Like, for the headquarters, it's going to show up as a sale on their balance sheet anyway.
Yes.
The same way they were bitching about dealers not purchasing enough from them. Was this, like 2 years ago, right? Like, we're sitting on too much stock because our clients, meaning the dealers, weren't buying enough. So they weren't sitting on it.
Well, but I think that they should sometimes implement that same strategy that they did with the Pentas. Back in the day, their minimum production line requirement was 500 pieces, right? At the time, there was around 500 stores in all over the world. So they just made it a mandatory display, and boom, there were the Pentas were born. Therefore, so otherwise they would never have come out with it.
Look, even though I think the price is pretty silly, right? If you put 20 per store, I still think you're going to sell them all.
100%. We've sold out of H100s when they first came out. Like, within 2 weeks, I think they were gone. And I think the first batch was gone immediately, almost, because we only got 4 to look at and 1 to sniff.
Yeah, my dealer, Horst in Utrecht, right? Like, I did a video for him, but he got 8, I think, and they were gone in 3 days.
So people do have money for it. And what, quite honestly, if I'm a big B&O fan, right? And I can shit on the prices and whatever else have you, but at the end of the day, I'm a fucking earbud guy, right? Like, I will pay that price, whatever. I know it's silly, but I will pay the price for having the fucking best sound that I can get from B&O up to date, because comparatively to EXs, yeah, there's a huge step in bass response and everything, and clarity. Son of a bitch. So
yeah, I just got so used to using AirPods since living here, right? Because I mean, for the first time in years, and you'll maybe have that once you eventually move here, I do so much more stuff outside.
Well, yeah.
Like, I like mowing the lawn, like doing all sorts of gardening, but also like general stuff outside. And I'm a bit nervous to do that with something that expensive. If I did most of my stuff in the house, right? Yeah, I wouldn't hesitate. But where I now realistically wear earbuds all the time, it's outside.
Wear earbuds, like, wear those big fucking noise canceling, whatever things.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's Florida. It's too hot for that. Like, I might as well stand in the rain with whatever I'm wearing.
Maybe you can 3D print little headband clips.
I was almost thinking, like, should they not have these little sort of condoms you can clip on so that you can take one out and not lose it, that you have a lanyard, right? Because they are of this price where that might be a nice security. Or let's say you do, I don't know, I'm looking at something and one falls out, but then at least it's stuck on a lanyard into your other ear.
Pulls that one to fucking both go down the drain. Call it. No. Yeah, I don't know. I like that's one thing, but I think that if they do have the memory foam, I wouldn't have a worry. Like the memory foam, I trust because I do use my EXs quite a bit. It's not that I, listen to fucking Aerosmith and headbang and whatever, right, to see if they fall off into my, French fries pan. But
dude looks like a lady.
Exactly. Oh Christ! Now I'll never be able to unhear it. That's funny. God, yes. So yeah, that's it's true. Dude looks like a lady. That's fucked up.
The funny thing is, later in life, he actually looks like a lady.
My God. So, anyways, yeah, I find that the memory foam ones are much better in retention in your ear canal than the rubber ones, right?
Yes.
Also, they seem to be very proprietary as far as the earbuds, the ear cushions, whatever they call them, are for those earbuds. I do like the homage of the H100, 100, the speaker port.
The design for one of the, I guess for very few, one of the first times, I have no issue with the design whatsoever, right? Like it's a throwback. It's still modern. It's really just a good design. Like there's only so much you can do. I mean, I guess the only thing I can't tell because I haven't touched it, like if that stem is maybe a bit too far out your ear, but that is so minimal in terms of looks. They look amazing.
I find it's too close, like to do the pinching and stuff. It was too close to my face, right? So I don't know. Once they improve that, maybe even on the haptic feedback, I'm certain of it that I wasn't touching it at the right spot because it worked for Kareem, right?
I thought the same thing when I got my AirPods. You'll get used to that really quickly.
Yes,
because AirPods sit even closer to you. They like lay on my face almost.
Mm-hmm.
So if these have a bit further, like you'll get used to that. It's just one of these weird fine motor things that once you do it like 5 times, it becomes normal. Carlos says, I'm a B&O collector. Suddenly, even the affordable 2500 system is going up in price very high. Why do you think that is? They're getting more rare. Like the further we're coming out of it, the fewer there are, right? Because a lot of them...
Fewer working pieces, yeah.
Well, they also get cannibalized for parts.
That's right.
And then, look, anything B&O is potentially in the sort of C class nowadays, especially older things, right? Like you can absolutely see them make a 2500C, like the new version of their most iconic CD player ever.
Well, the 9000 was that, but 2500 is not that far because that is very recognized.
I personally think in terms of icons, right, the 2500 has a wider reach because it was more affordable from the get-go.
Yes.
I mean, it's literally in every Friends episode. It's in the back, a 2500 system, right? Like even there in apartment living, you could have one, and not like immediately go like, "Oh, you're so rich, you're so unrelatable."
Yeah, no, those were quite affordable for the time, and they had a great sound for what they were with the 2500 speakers on them.
Yeah, and just the magic of like doing that, right, and the doors opening. Look, the amount of people we had at our house that were just like, they didn't care for the music, right? They were fascinated by the door and just standing there and just you waiting and it closes and
fuck. But yeah, it's even the Beo system 9000s and like the old ones, they're really hard to come by now with in a working condition.
Well, partially because the B&O bought them back, right? Like,
yeah, the 9000s, yeah, for sure. But Beo Center 9000, like the predecessor, the tape deck CD, the slider, yeah, those are, well, I see them still, like they're being sought after, but they're really hard to come by.
But again, it's
good and pristine condition.
35 years old.
Mine is from 1987. That's the label on it that it has manufactured.
Yeah, so we're 2 years away from 40 years old.
It's almost my age.
Yeah, exactly. And it's in a better shape than you, probably.
It's a 7 years younger system of me. But yeah, well, I had it completely rebuilt, everything, changed the caps and all this shit. I just don't have anywhere to put it. Like, where am I going to plug it in? Fuck, there's a fly in my house. That's not good. Because if it lands on the 90s and the cat attacks, there's going to be a murder in this house. I swear to God. And it's not just the fly that will die.
But yeah, a lot of B&O stuff, merely due to new supply going up so much, has pushed everything up, right? Like, I still remember when, like, you could buy a used set of 50s for like between 15 and 18 grand. Like,
that's those days are long gone, bro.
Holy yeah, exactly. God. But like that has only been pushed up because the new price has been pushed up, right? There's no other, because people that bought them new, like me, when they came out, you can sell them for more than what you paid for, and it's only because the new prices are now so silly.
I could sell my 18s for the price I paid for them, and the person would still think it's an absolute smoker deal.
Yes, exactly.
And I've had them since 2017.
So now imagine if you sell your 90s for what you paid for them.
Fuck.
People would think you were mad.
Yeah, no. There's no way. There's not an option. I love those speakers, even though I can't really enjoy them here much. My girlfriend enjoys them though, and nobody's complained yet, so I guess I tuned it good. But I still find that they sounded better with the Avant. I guess that's what they were made on, more or less, right? So
yeah,
with deleting the room comp on the theater, it does make them sound much better though, because the theater does fuck with it quite a bit, especially on the bottom side.
Yeah, it does a lot more to the signal, and it sort of lifts the upper bass and lower mids quite a bit.
For no need.
Well, it's a need for every other speaker.
Yes. But the problem is that if you delete the room compensation in the surround mode, then you delete the room compensation for the 18s as well.
Yes.
But then the 18s sound like a default 18 would sound on the BeoConnect core. It still has the dynamic range of an 18 on the new platform. It's just not tuned for its location.
Well, I mean, the 18s sound way better on the BeoConnect core than on the BeoSound core.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Because the dynamics are changed and tweaked. So it'll still sound the same good on the theater as it does on the core, but without the room compensation. So
I mean, let's see.
This fly is bothering me, bro. I think I need to step in. So far, the cat's sleeping behind the V1, so I'm good with that. My Avant is going, man. The video board is fucked. I have to. I have another one, so I'm gonna swap it. I'm gonna send this one to Brad to get it fixed.
Let's see, BeoSound 3200. Let's see what those are going for. Holy moly! Honestly, they are expensive.
Yeah, dude.
When I bought mine, the last two I bought, the first one was like €200, and the other one was like $250, and they were in perfect shape. And now the cheapest I see is $600. Holy shit!
Yeah, B&O has value even that while back ago.
You mean the last time I bought I forget if it was a 3200 or 2500, but that was 4 years ago now, and that was $250 or €1.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm pretty on top of it to have the doors closed for the screen so the bloody flies don't get in, but sometimes they get in through the window because there is a little hole that the screw was supposed to be in, but that's not.
Yeah.
In the screens, and they fucking crawl through and fly around here, so it's really hard to like nail it down completely. But yeah, there is a fly here that needs to get killed before the cat does. I don't know where it went, but so far she's sleeping, so that's good.
I mean, if you're the collector, if you sit on a lot of this stuff, apparently you're sitting on shit tons of money now. So good on you.
Yeah. The G, if you wanna, I don't know, I guess you just joined, but if you reverse back to like first 5 minutes, you will hear my exact opinion of them. They are worth the money. The sound in those headphones is worth the money, 100%. Also, the noise cancellation in it is second to none. I think with the Amadeus platform and way more processing power that they stuffed into this shit is absolutely insane what they can do now. Absolutely insane what they can do now. I would go and I'm gonna revisit this again. There's the flag. I'm gonna go revisit them again and give them the Dolby Atmos try through the title just to see how good they sound. But yeah, that's something also that they sound great, blah blah blah, but you never get to appreciate them completely and it's like fully, in my opinion. And like to me, with earbuds, when I'm laying in bed, dude, and it's dark, you put these things on and you let them fucking perform. There's no outside obstruction noise and whatever. You don't have to have the noise canceling on, which I didn't find that actually impeded on the outcome of the track, sound quality wise.
Yes.
Because sometimes it screws with the sound, how it when you turn on and just all of a sudden, like either the treble gets a little fucked up or disappears, or there's always some sort of an adverse effect of having a noise cancellation turned on. Like it's just with EXs, they sound the best when they're in neutral mode. The transparency is obviously transparent, and noise canceling does a little fiddling with some frequencies that I guess take it. Where I think that they stuffed, I don't know, I haven't gone through the course because I'm not working with piano. It's if there is a microphone inside the earbud itself to listen to, just like in the.
I don't think you ever officially told anybody that.
No, that gets out of the bag, I guess. So, I wonder if there is a microphone inside that listens to what's actually coming out of the drivers versus the noise that's inside your ear canal, like I think the Apple new earbuds have it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it did. Marius asks, "Hi guys, how would a BeoConnect Core sound with BeoLab 9 compared to an AVR? Thanks." God, that depends entirely on your AVR. There is not really a good answer to that because I have no idea of the capabilities of the AVR you intend to use. I would say it probably sounds better with a BeoConnect Core, but it's also more limited, right? So an AVR, you can probably make a 5.1 system, but the tuning will be more so on you. There is a preset of speaker in a BeoConnect Core. So
yes,
for that purpose, I would go that way.
If you're using them for surround, it's a different story. Like, and obviously that depends on. I find, I don't know, if in an AVR world, like the Marantz sound good, I would stay away from Yamaha because those are just terrible. Not in sound quality, but they're just terrible in operation. They're very faulty prone.
Yeah, but additionally to that, right? Like, do you have a Marantz with Dirac or no? Right, because that changes completely how that answer is.
This is like, I guess, talking about custom built Windows computers. They all run the same platform, but there's different guts within it, behind it, powering it. So it's the same. Marantz and Denon sound good, but they will never be the same as the Core or BeoConnect Core. I guarantee you that. If you want to have it for surround, it kind of sucks because that's not really a way to do it.
It doesn't mean it sounds bad, right? You may prefer it, but it's
if you're going for the proper B&O sound, then that's the cookie.
If you already have a Marantz and a Denon, I would just ask your local dealer, can I buy a BeoConnect Core for a little bit, like a day or two?
Or wait for the new soundbar.
Yeah.
And trade in your Marantz, whatever.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of like I don't know. How does a Ferrari V8 sound compared to another V8? It's like, which one?
Yes.
It's like
so.
Wendell says, which one is better, H95 or H100? Why? Thanks. H100 because it's better in every way. That's mostly why. Like literally everything you can list or think of, it's better in it.
Including
except price, I guess.
That's it.
So if you already have H95s, right, there is not a whole bunch of sense in getting H100s. But if you have neither, you might as well get the H100s.
Or BeoGrace.
Yeah.
Which I find they have way more sonic presence because they're in your ear versus. But then again, that comes to the taste. How much salt do you want and pepper do you like on your steak, right? Like I like the inner ear experience versus having something that is on my ears, like wearing my sound system, basically. So, yes, H100s do come close as well to performance of the 50s and 90s. But for fit and comfort, I would go with the Grace 100% every day.
I mean, H100, like the headband, like the H100s, they're sit right. Like the headband, you can replace without much issues. It's a better headband. It's thicker. The pads are slightly better. There's a bit less clamping force on your head. So, like, I mean, literally everything is slightly to a lot better on H100s. But
more serviceable. Let's just put it that way. It's definitely way more serviceable.
They're also quicker. The buttons are generally a bit nicer. Though I do like the inside ring of the H95s personally, because the outside ring thing is a bit, I don't know, if you use them for active stuff and, I don't know, raise your hands, like my shoulders touch my ears.
Then what, you switch a song or pause it?
Or like you turn the volume down, right? Because the on the H100s, the ring is on the outside instead of on the inside of the cup.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is extremely nitpicky, right?
Yeah, but rightfully so. Like once you own that product, you kind of get into these kind of nitpicky things because that's what offsets the newer from older, per se, generationally or whatever wise, right? That's just where it's at. Like that's the niche of it too. That, you know, if there was no development, we'd still listen to the A8s and Form 2s for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, because with the H100, you sort of do this, right? With the H95, you sort of do this on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of the different. But do you want it, or is it really like I'm going to sit in a chair and zone out? Because if that's the case, it doesn't matter. Get the H100s.
Yeah.
Also, the H100s have longer warranty.
I guess the positive, I put it this way. With H100s, do you really need another DAC? I guess not really, right? If it's USB-C digital to USB-C digital. So the argument is really nonsensical. But with the BeoGrace, the ability to have them being able to connect through the case into analog devices like airplanes and whatever else have you, that's a fucking big bonus.
Car even.
That's a big bonus.
If your car has like audio pass through the USB port, like my car does, right? You can charge your case and have it play to your earbuds in the car.
Mm-hmm. That's a little too smart for my vehicle.
I'm pretty sure if you
but my car still plays lossless WAV files, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure your car does that.
I'd have to get like the different adapter for the Audi. I think I have I have a USB-C out, I think. I don't remember.
Well, if it's USB, it doesn't matter, right? You can just get a USB A to C cable.
I have that converter, but I don't know what it's good for, dude, but the charging is absolutely like, oh my God, it's a dick trickle, honestly.
That's like half an amp, maybe.
If even I find that if I have the Google Maps open, it kills more than it charges. It just dies less fast or slower, I guess.
Yeah, my mother-in-law's car is like that. I plug my phone in, and it's like it says it's charging, right? But like after, God, I looked after like 15 minutes, and it had like maybe 1% extra
Oh
charging.
yeah. That's
It's like
it's insane. Like
what? And I wasn't even doing anything with my phone, right?
you can probably charge it more by rubbing it on your thigh from static electricity through the fucking charging pad and plugging it into my car. Like, yeah, it's shameful. I need to get one of those cigarette adapter light things, whatever. But now they all glow with shit. I don't need something that, because you drive at night, I'll think it's blue freaking light coming out of it,
Electrical
right?
tape.
I know, but then it looks so ghetto. Like that bugs the shit out of me. I don't like electrical tape in car.
Okay, then
So
get some black spray paint.
just spray bomb.
Yeah.
Hillbilly style.
We'll get your airbrusher, right? And just
put the dot, make it a little small. What is it? The transparent aluminium, as they call it. Which the case has that. The case is nice, actually, very very well done. It really I have the SD Dupont fire lines, right? But the case has that same groove design, so that kind of caught my eye really much, or pretty much a lot. But I really do like the finish of the case on the BeoGrace. Really like it. The back is plastic, but it has to be because it needs to charge somehow. But maybe that also assesses better serviceability, that you can actually somehow disconnect or pull that plastic part off and replace the battery in it with the coil. If we're talking sustainability. So, Julie, I end up burning about 17 to 20 hours on average a week on Google Maps driving during work.
I guess I have an iPhone. I use Apple Maps. If I plug it into the car, I end up with a fuller charge than I ever left with. Yeah,
well, I have the Milwaukee charger in my car that I plug it into from the freaking M18, what is it, the M12 battery, big motherfucker. And yeah, it goes. I gave it to a guy on a site we're working on Friday because his phone died from just being on the phone, like he's a superintendent, right? Running the whole thing. Forgot to charge his phone overnight, and like fucking 1%, bro. You can't really muster much business with 1%. So he plugged that in, Milwaukee top up tool, I guess it's called. And yeah, within 15 minutes, he was at 35%, 40%. It's a 3 amp output charger, man. Like you can feel it pulsing in the cable cord is going in.
Yeah, if your phone can take it, it's all fun and games, right?
Yeah, the newer phones definitely can. Well, they self-regulate anyways on the phone's end, and also on the other side too, because it's not just two forks to the prongs and to the positive and negative on the battery. Let's boost this F-150, which apparently works with the M18 battery. Never tried it, but anywho. So yeah, I highly recommend buying the Grace if you're a earbuds guy and you've been saving for a while. If you on the fence, you either buy EXs or you buy the Grace. I don't think 11s are not worth it at this point of time.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. By the way, I forgot to say one thing I found, right? Like that is, I don't know if it matters to some, but one thing, and this may be highly personal again. One thing I cannot do with Apple AirPods is sleep with them. Because of the shape with them, as soon as I lay on them, they push too far into my ear to the point where it's like it almost becomes dangerous, and or at minimum, I wake up with a sore ear. If I sleep with my E8 3.0s or any of my B&O headphones, it's fine.
Interesting. I never really catch myself passing out with earbuds anymore. But I see my girlfriend every now and then does, and she's not really aware of it with the EXs.
Yeah, so with the E8s, it's fine. Like if I ever go to bed and want to watch something and intend to fall asleep, right? Like I have to be, because I've had a few times where I woke up and it's like my ear was so fucked up for like the next day and a half that like, yeah, I cannot fall. Like I have to be actually careful, and maybe it's just my ears, but I can't be that special, right? My ears just can't handle having like pressure on an AirPod.
No, neither can I. I can't deal with that. But
It
I
just,
don't really.
the shape is not conducive to it.
I haven't fallen asleep with headphones in such a long time, bro, that I couldn't even. I couldn't even tell you. And if I did fall asleep, it was so long ago. They were A8s, the wired ones, still with the BeoSound 2, the MP3 player. That thing sounded great for what it was. What it is still. I still have one. I just took out the charging connector from the case, so it just sits on the shelf now in the Grace. But yeah.
So did you put your name down for a set, or?
I'm very much debating it to do it. I have a bunch of expenses that are coming up now, obviously with the pardon coming up, that are more important to me than earbuds. So, there are things that need to be backburnered, and then there's things that need to be in the oven right now. So right now, all the funds are going to go more or less to the lawyers and figuring it out.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm in a slightly similar situation where like I have a bunch of upcoming stuff I need to just pay for, right? And it's like, I mean, and then knowing, right, this new stage soundbar, whatever is coming. If that is, I don't know, I expect it to be somewhere between $4.5 to $6,000. Like, if I'd rather spend that $1,500 on that.
You'll use it more, and quite honestly, I think I'm not going to divulge more than I should, I guess, but I'll say one thing, that the common consensus and complaint with the theater was that it was too thick for most of the clients. Like, it takes a lot to stomach it, right? If you put it on the wall and you put a G panel flat against the wall, you got a fucking fireplace mantle basically standing in front of you.
It sticks out about,
it's
3-4 inches.
6 inches. Yeah, it's 6 inches wide or something. So yeah, it is definitely, like, the TV maybe takes an inch, so you got 5 inches of shelf on that, your cat can go in and call this. That needs to, honestly, B&O, please, you need to come up with another slider, not just for the lights off. You need to fucking turn the goddamn buttons off, because I now attest to this, and it's not just on the theater, it's on the fucking level too, because the cat comes up into the bathroom and then she goes on the level to like look what's behind it, right? And it's a my button 1 and a volume up is what that is behind it. And then she freaks out because it turns on, right? So, and sometimes it wiggles. I'm like, fuck. So I need to somehow disable that, because I don't use the buttons really. I have a Essence remote on the thing, or I use the actual Beo remote 1, right? So the buttons, if they're disabled on the glass, shouldn't be disabled on the My Button scheme in your remote controls, logically, right?
I can send you some software.
No, I have that software too, but fuck, I can't put it into the level because I can't have it plugged in. Because I have to take the sock off and take the charger off, right? To plug in the USB-C. Then it doesn't charge. So in 20 minutes, it shuts off. Same problem as Sandeep had with his in the bathroom. That's where mine is, right?
I'm not sure if on the software I currently have, if it needs to stay in permanently or if it needs to load once. We can test it though.
Yeah, we should. But yeah, that is my number one requirement, honestly. Just please, let's be able to disable the buttons on the bloody Mozart platform.
Yeah, look, I am the first one to raise my hand, whereas like I shouldn't have to have this workaround of knowing people that know people that can write software for this shit.
I know, right?
Yeah, I shouldn't have to do this for this request, and I've asked for this
years now.
2 years.
It's been years,
now.
yeah, since it came out. Like I've never had that need, but now it became apparent because sometimes There's a fly that fucking makes it in the goddamn house, and it lands on the display, and the cat sees it because they obviously have nothing better to do but look at this shit. And she comes up and she doesn't touch the fabric. She goes on the glass. Like there's, my button 1 or 2 or whatever. And if it's my button 2, it's even worse because the TV starts moving because that's the YouTube, right? So now she fucking turned on the panel. Call this.
The joy of living with a cat.
Fucking dogs are dumb, man. They wouldn't do that. But the cats, yeah, they
I guess it takes
everything.
special cats because only 1 of 3 of my cats does this, right? But you just have the one cat and it does this. So.
I have the BeoKitty 2.0 call this, man. It's so yeah, that's something that I really wish I would be able to disable. What's a product that's missing from a portfolio in the current moment? It's the one that we've been crying for since this podcast has ever started and Moment got discontinued, and that's an audio master of some sorts. Have a product that has a display that you can just commit to without your phone to distribute music throughout the house.
That and a backlit remote.
And the backlit remote. Yeah, cats are not, well, depends, bro. I'm not even going to say it out loud because she listens to me. Fuck. So.
Oh, my cats, you may think they're dumb sometimes, but it just means they are ignoring you at this point in time, generally.
They're on their own agenda.
Yeah. Yeah.
There should be an audio device by B&O that is welcoming and that just, it gives you that sense that you don't need your phone, because I hate using my phone to play music with it. I hate that because you go into the app, you play the track, and all of a sudden you fucking find yourself scrolling through Instagram shorts or nonsense or emails or a text message that comes through. I just want to listen to music, and I miss that time when the BeoSound Moment was still valid, and I would just sit in this chair and just bring the jukebox in my hands and just browse through music and get swept away in the sound of it, right? And listen and relax. But now it's just the phone, right? Which, like, unless you put it in don't disturb mode, you don't have any other choice.
Yeah, as for bookshelves, you get bookshelves. You can also use balances if you want to go a bit cheaper. You can wire them for DPL.
At this point, I think the balance should get discontinued. It's aesthetically boring speaker, and I'm sorry to whoever owns it. My opinion of it, it's an aesthetically boring speaker with unbelievable sound performance. And the only one that looked good got discontinued, which was silver with silver cloth, the aluminium one. That one could hold its merit in the DPL as a surround speaker.
I still got them. Wish they made it silver with black cloth.
Yes, the classic B&O speaker, like the BeoSound BeoLab 8000, 6000, 4000s.
I mean, though I do think the balance was always meant to be boring.
Well, yeah, it really reminds me of like the Muto design. It's just this. It's a sculpture that is but isn't.
Yeah.
It's kind of eye-catching, but it's really easy to miss if it's on the shelf. Just like the Emerge, I guess, if you have it within the books, then the sound is magical.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. So if you're looking for bookshelves, you also have, if you want to go older, you have BeoLab 3s, BeoLab 17s.
BeoLab 3s are a dangerous game to play now because no parts are available. So if you buy them somewhere used and they croak off on you fucking 2 months later, you're SOLing it hard because there is no chassis, there is no fixing it. And I don't know anybody that fixes them on the board level. Maybe in Europe you have some nerds with
I do.
fucking equipment. So that's it. That's your only savior. But
the BeoBuddy in Utrecht does it. Like he even makes his own new what you call them? When you open them up, right, there's these seals in them to keep them airtight. He makes those new from scratch.
Oh yeah.
Gaskets, that's it. sorry, I was blanking on that. He makes new gaskets from scratch and stuff. He has like all of these fucking microscopes, and he repairs them on board level and shit like that. So there are options.
Wendell, if you're asking me that question, if you're planning to buy H100, is it worth every penny, or should I buy the BeoGrace? I would go with the BeoGrace. That's solely up to you. If you have the budget for both, then it doesn't matter really which one you go with. But if you're like myself, that you walk outside, or you would walk outside with the headphones every now and then, and you have sunglasses on, then the H100s are completely useless to that, in my opinion. Unless you have
are
some
you an
sleek
over-ear
profile.
or an in-ear guy? What
That's it. That's it. So if it's if you're an in-ear guy, go with the BeoGrace, man. You will never look back, in my opinion, at all. Ding. So yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's funny to me that people still somehow are getting like, and this is kind of a B&O's marketing being shit, right? Like, why do people not know about these yet? They've been around for what, 8?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously prices change quite dramatically when you go to Europe because of tariffs and nonsense.
Joe's asking, why would somebody pick BeoGrace instead of Apple iPods or Apple Pods 3? My girlfriend would answer that question probably the best, and I'll answer it for her because of the sound quality. She dreads the fact when she forgets her EXs in the house and she has to listen to the AirPods in the office the whole day. They're now uncomfortable to her, and they sound absolutely garbage compared to what she's used to now with the EXs.
I have AirPod Pro 2s, right? And they sound okay. But that's exactly why I bought them, right? Because they sound okay and were cheap.
Yes. The noise canceling is definitely superior on the AirPods because it's using the processing inside the phone also to do it with.
It's a function I do not care for because it makes me ill. I get like that sort of pressure where it's like if I have that for longer than, I don't know, an hour or so, I feel like I want to vomit. So I don't use it. So like that feature is completely lost on me.
To me, that's H8 from B&O.
But that's what I have with the AirPods, right? Like the adaptive ANC on these and on the H100s is a lot nicer on my ears.
Yeah, I'm also sensitive to that inverted signal, I guess anomaly. I don't know what you would call it.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It feels like I'm in an airplane, but like the airplane is too tight and it makes me feel claustrophobic and sort of queasy.
Yeah.
So I don't use them, but for that. But
can we pull up the KEF LSX2s? What the fuck they look like? Because I don't even know what he's talking about, first of all. Second of all, it also, my question to you, Joshua, is what do you use to drive them with? Unless they're active, I don't know. But the sound quality will definitely be better on the BeoLab 8s than the KEFs, in my opinion. They're active. Okay. So you're just running your phone into them. Okay. That's pretty cute.
They're quite big. I would say they are about the size of 8s, if not a bit bigger. And you can obviously get them in more colors than this.
So is it the one of those with the bass woofer with the coaxial tweeter, or is it full range driver? Because if it's a full range driver, there is no way.
Tweeter in there.
Okay, so it's two-way. There's no way they'll sound better than the Lab 8s.
They're quite highly rated.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that much. I don't have a lot of experience. I listen to them; they sound fine. I mean, it's a KEF product, right? Like it's and
KEF is not a bad brand. B&O had been in bed with them for a while back in the yesteryears of yore.
Yeah. I mean, if it's within your budget, I mean, look at the price difference, right? It's there is something there.
I think KEF was involved in development or co-development of Lab 5s, I believe, and some earlier on speaker versions. I'm sure of that. They were researching their drivers. and they were doing some collab acoustically, engineering wise, with B&O. I just don't remember exact details because it's been a long time since I've read the document. But yeah, the cafe is a very well respected brand, but to me they are a third party.
Yeah.
So I thought.
Yeah. So yeah.
But then again, if you start with the Lab 8s, I'm sure you're going to get pregnant with more and more B&O, because that's how the cancer starts with the B&O. You start with a little bit, and all of a sudden, well, fuck, I got the 8s, might as well get the theater, because why not? Maybe the new soundbar, because it's more affordable, thinner, right? Now you get the like a triangle surround and shit. And then later on, you decide, you know what, let's get another set of 8s for the fronts before they go up again. And you have a full surround system that really doesn't need much. Maybe the new subwoofer whenever it comes out as well.
So you have all sorts of colors you can choose from. And also they change the colors of the drivers to either match or contrast, which is quite nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Not for me though.
No, but they are what they are, and they're quite decent. I mean, I could see people using them as like computer speakers or something like that.
Yes. Yeah, the B&O virus has no vaccine. It's just you just buy more of it. That's all there's to it. It's once you are within it, it's incurable, quite honestly. And I guess the fact that proves it is the lame software in the beginning of the product launch and so on and so forth, and we suffer through it always. But at the end, it's no matter how bad it is, it's still so beautiful to look at least, right? When you're mad at it, but it's still awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's an expensive hobby too.
Joshua says, what sub would you would be computer speaker? Wait, what? What sub would you pair with the 8s, or is it not needed? Depends on how large your room is. I don't think it's needed.
No. If you put them in the corners or against the wall.
In this home office, right? Like I have 18s and a 19 here, which is...
It's an overkill, but not.
Yeah, it's an R-word overkill, right? I had the 8s in here without the sub attached, and it was equally mental. Yes, the 19 makes it more, but like to the point where it's sort of like, what are you doing, right? Like, unless you're such a basshead that everything needs to shake all the time.
Yeah, it depends on how you listen to your music, right? If it's always, driving a Ferrari at 200 kilometers an hour, that's a different story than just, rolling down the side street.
I mean, currently the 8s are in my living room, and I don't even think they're necessarily underpowered for my living room. My living room is pretty large.
You just have them for passive listening?
Yeah, just stereo paired, right? Like, just, I mean, I still need to make a bloody video on it, but so much of life comes in between that I just don't get around to it. Like, my only free day is essentially Sunday, and that's when we're doing this.
That's it. Yeah, I base my entire life around this podcast, I guess, as well, where Sundays it's a shutdown for most of the activities, and just spend 2 hours on a more or less public Skype call.
Like, it's not like I'm putting the 8 on par with my 50s, but even in my living room, if you like just listening to music, even quite loudly, you don't really need a subwoofer. I mean, you could if you really wanted to, but the 8s are better balanced, I feel, than 28s.
And I don't think that I would run on a treadmill with the $1,200 earbuds. Like, for that kind of shit, you're not even really like the amount of vibration that goes through your skeletal structure while you're running, and the whole reverb. A regular whatever headphones would be fine. Like, this is something that I would either go to gym with or leave the gym with once I'm done, and treat yourself to a good sound. But I wouldn't risk them on a fucking treadmill.
They are moisture rated,
but they are obviously moisture rated. I think there's some sort of an IP67 standard at the least. But still, like, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Quite honestly, I barely, like, if I were to, well, first of all, there's no fucking way that you ever see me in the gym unless there's a broken TV in it that I have to fix. But yeah, I wouldn't. I would probably go, if I were to go to gym, I would take my EXs for that, and then BeoGrace for the rest of it.
They have a water rating of 1 meter deep for 30 minutes.
So
it's IP57 rating on the earbuds.
Nightmare story. One of the clients in Vancouver, apparently, Brad was telling me the story, was using his EXs in the public gym, and one of his earbuds fell off into the fucking treadmill machine, and they refused to take it apart to give him the headphone, so he had to buy another one.
Yeah.
So there's my answer to that. Like, I wouldn't do it. It's the same thing. Like, I wouldn't move my 90s without putting them in a box, even though it is 4 hours per speaker. Fuck that. It's 4 hours, or I damage $250,000 speakers and I look at them fucked up for good, you know? Or it costs me $6-7 grand to order the crowns and fabrics and such.
Yeah.
At that point, like, if you replace one cloth, you're fucked. You have to replace all of them. It's the same thing. Like, if you make a hole in the ceiling, you got to paint the whole ceiling, not just to patch it, because it'll never match.
Yeah.
And these are 10 years old. So if I do any damage to this, it's 20 grand just out the window. Poof. For fucking cloths. So.
Flores asks, how do you like the new in-app listening settings for the theater, like roll distance, level, and bass manage being all separated? I haven't really played with that much yet. I like, again, I can make a video for YouTube, or tomorrow I can retune my whole system, which is going to take me 6-7 hours. And that is on the planning for doing that tomorrow.
Yeah, you should do a time lapse of it. Just like showcase.
It's just me sitting there for like hours and then.
I know, bro. I know how it is.
It's not a fun video.
You're not preaching to the right choir here, motherfucker. Because
and it's a lot of
so many times. Thank God we don't have a lot of 90s and 50s clients, because that's the worst ones. Like, in setup, like, they're not the worst clients. They're the best clients you can have, because they bought fucking 50s or 90s. But man, like, to set that shit up, like, you really have to be knowledgeable in order for it to be set up correctly. Not many rookies can just come in, show up, and, you know, follow the app and try to make it right. Because you do sometimes, depends on the room, you have to go into the low pass filters and adjust stuff.
Yes, so since my new front doors and stuff are in, right? Like, my whole house is so much more airtight than the last time I actually tuned the speakers. It's unreal. Like, I can barely hear cars outside anymore, even with like sports exhaust and stuff like that.
Holy fuck.
So I have to tune 2 sets of 50s for like the narrow and wide positions all over the place, and then do all the 50s with or all the theater with everything attached again. It's like,
yeah, that's a project. Like, honestly, that's like a full day basically. Like, as an installer, I know for a fact that's a 5 to 6 hours, because the 50s themselves, well, they're not as complicated like if you were to go with the 90s, because you can direct them, right? And some people want to get that stuff directed. That adds way more, because you got to build all these filters within the speaker before you build them into the theater.
Yes.
And then delete the room comp for all the ones that are involved with the 50s, and that's a lot of laughs.
I mean, for the front 50s, right, I have 2 narrow positions because I have a lazy chair and the couch, and I have 2 wide positions because sometimes we just sit on the couch, and sometimes I sit on the lazy chair and the couch, and they're not at all in the same place. And if it's not correct, right, like, all I hear on the lazy chair is the left front. And then for the rear 50s, I have similar again, because sometimes I like to listen in quadraphonic, and then it's dual narrow on the one position in the couch.
Oh yeah, that sounds sick.
Yeah,
I'm certain of it.
But then I also have a narrow position because the BeoCenter 2 is attached to the rears, so I can listen to CDs while sitting at the dining room table. So I like have everything double, right? It takes fucking effort.
Yeah, that's a lot of, like, I wish there was, well, there's no point to even like having be able to save the filters, because you need to rebuild them essentially.
Yeah. So even if I do like one position is like 15 minutes or so. So that's an hour for the front speakers, an hour for the rear speakers, and then I haven't even touched the theater yet.
Yeah.
It's like,
you gotta match the mic locations. I know it's a pain in the dick, but
and this is when people say, "Oh, just reset it." Like hell, I am. Fuck off.
well, it's easy if you just have the theater, right? But if you have this, or like even mine, like I have 90s plus 18s, and that's a pain in the ass to redo, right? Because you got to redo them. Well, at least I don't have to tune the 90s anymore, right? So for me, because nothing's changed in that fashion, but I do have to retune a little bit because I want to enroll them back into the kitchen speaker group. So I have to run another microphone inside the theater. But yeah, it's just first world problems, I guess, when it comes to tuning your living space.
Yeah, I mean, similarly, neither of us are really headphone people. Yet we, like, I counted. I think last time I have like 8 sets of headphones now.
I have an obnoxious amount of earphones or headphones from B&O, like from the
Yeah,
older
exactly.
times. But
And I'm not that person.
No, I'm not. I got 5 different colors of Form 2 eyes that I kept because they look cool when you hang them on my lamp, like this. But now I just have them in the box because they kind of remind me of this like whole nonsense with the alphabet people.
Yeah.
So I don't want to have a rainbow in my house.
You have was it the Pepsi H8 or something?
I sold them. I sold those. I used to have Pepsi H6s, and I only have the green limited edition H6s. I have the pair of A8s. I have the pair of H8s, which have my name engraved on it from Denmark. And then I have, I think,
you have the DJ
E8s
versions.
or E9s. No, E8s or E9s. I never liked the Caleb version. And then I have 2 EXs, and that's it. And a bunch of Form 2s, which I don't really count Form 2 eyes.
Yeah, you have your portals.
And I have my portals as well, yes. So yeah, they're fudge. It's quite a bit.
I mean, it's how it goes, right? Like, I'm running out of space. I mean,
I have things in the storage that I just need, like my shape. I have it in the storage. I don't have anywhere to put this on my. I could have put it in the office, but then where do I put the Lego?
You have a set of ones.
I have 2 sets of ones. One is yours, goddammit, and it's still in the gut, still in the fucking storage. Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff in the storage still that I could put up, but I'm not going to bother with it.
I mean,
and given the fact, I don't know how expedited this whole process is going to be from now on. So if I'm going to be moving within the next, let's say, 5 to 6 months, I'm not carving a fucking plywood shape to put the shape on, to put it back together and back it back together 2 months later. It's already disastrous given the thought how much I had unpacked, because I just moved in here, right? Because I assumed, and it's obviously that's the Murphy's law, right? If I didn't unpack everything, my fucking pardon would have been another year of shit. So now that I'm fully moved in, unpacked all my Lego, threw out all the bubble wrap, here I go. So hopefully it's faster.
Carlos earlier was saying he's a collector, but anybody that buys B&O becomes a collector eventually.
Exactly. Joshua, I do keep my boxes. I actually have boxes for, I would say, 95% of my B&O.
Same.
Does my Lego trump my B&O? No, not really, because that's just in only one room. Well, 3 rooms, I guess, if you count the bathroom and a little bit here. But B&O is in every room, every nook and cranny, and fucking, yeah, I got a lot more B&O than I have Lego.
I'm thinking now, the only thing I don't have boxes for is my Moment and 2 sets of 17s. And the
only thing I don't have a box for is my V132, because I stupid threw it out back in yesteryears. I don't have a box for the Avant, which I'm going to buy if I'm moving, because I want to keep the Avant. I really like that TV, and I got boards to fix it with, so I'm going to keep it going until the last board fails. And then I don't have the original boxes for the Lab 1s, because those were fucking coffins. And
yeah, like they're so tall. Where do you put them?
Yeah.
I mean, I have stored my 50s boxes like into, like they're stored over 2 different places, right? All the styrofoam in the top and bottom is in the attic, and then the cardboard is so enormous. It's literally in the corner in the garage, like sitting
collapsed. Yeah.
yeah, and then like golf clubs and stuff against it, all in place.
What do you run? What do you guys run in your bedroom, if anything? I run a BeoVision Avant 55 with the Lab 19 and a BeoLab 4s as rear channels. So it's like the early bird on a theater's triangle setup, basically, because I have the Avant as a center and left and right fronts, and then the Lab 4s are on the nightstands as rears surrounds.
Yeah, I have a stage currently with a 65-inch OLED, which is I had the 18s with the BeoConnect core in there, and it's just more weird placement and having a weird shaped room that it made more sense to put the stage back in there.
Mm.
But
the only reason why I have the TV in there is because of my girlfriend, because I put a V1, it was too small, and then just fucking slid down. But anyway, sorry to interrupt.
But one of the reasons I'm very much looking forward to the new soundbar, if that ever comes, because I've been thinking about a theater forever, right? But it's just I just can't justify that money in the bedroom.
No, it's too much for how little you use it.
Yeah. And
it's also technologically overpowering for how little you will utilize out of it, in my opinion.
So if the new soundbar or whatever, if you can attach at least 2 speakers to it, which seemingly is the case, I'm kind of hoping for 3. I'll either put the 18s in the sub back in the bedroom or the 8s and make a triangle. And then
I think it might have like 2 PowerLink ports. Like I'm hoping for 2 PowerLink ports and like a 4 DPL connectivity.
Yeah. Well, if so, right, then I'm just making the triangle with the 18s rears and the sub up front.
Yes.
And then, because like, give or take however long we mess around, like I need another place to put those ones, which will be here. And then I'll have a stage left over, which I guess will go to the guest bedroom or maybe to the missus' office. Currently,
you know what I wish? I wish they also made a DPL receivers for older speakers. Yes. I think that would be cool.
Well, if it does WiSA, then I'm happy. But if I can do a wire, then okay, I'll do a wire. I'll faff around and like pull it up a wall, because I need to open up the walls in the bathroom anyway, which is on the back of the TV. And I'll poke one up and over to the other side.
Yeah. Flora is asking when the 8s got released. Remember you were doubting to purchase them. Are they on the roadmap in the near future? Currently, they're not in the roadmap at all. I have funds to allocate in completely different places at this point of time. And secondly, I really have nowhere to put them. I just cannot justifiably buy them because I have nowhere to fucking put them in this apartment. I'm not gonna. I have 90s, for crying out loud. Like that's more than enough already as it is. And I have 18s in the back. If I were to do anything, would I spend 10 grand to put Lab 8s to be my height, or would I just unpack my 12 tile shape with 4 speakers and put it with 2 BeoLab 1 receivers as left and right heights, and it would look better, in my opinion, than a pair of 8s that I have to fuck up the wall with. I don't have to fuck up the wall anyways. But
have 12 twos, right?
The 12 twos, I have too much. I have way too much in the storage that I even bother to take out. Like I have a BeoSound 2 sitting on the kitchen table because it just sits there. It really has nothing other than it's a source for my Avant for Beo radio, because the Moment doesn't have it, but the Moment is plugged in my foyer and does nothing but takes an IR command from my keychain to come in and out of the house. To trigger the gateway. So nothing really is on the roadmap for me to purchase, other than I'm still on the fence with the Tegrino grill right now because of the whatever I need to deal with financially, or I don't really see the point of buying the BeoGrace till I have to fly somewhere. I'll buy them once I have to travel, because then I'll actually enjoy them and I'll have a real life test for them. in that sense. But currently, I have no B&O purchases on the roadmap at all because I cannot afford places to put them into to begin with. And I want to keep my Avant. I have a V1 in the office that really is just plugged in with an S8 sub. For fuck's sakes, like for what even, right? It's not even on. It's just there because
some noise when you're Legoing.
I don't even have time to Lego because I'm so busy at work. I get home around 8 o'clock, 7:30, right? I don't really have time to go and, go play video games in my office or whatever. I basically just come in, eat something, pass out, have a shower, whatever. Bonsoir.
Yeah. I mean,
so I don't have, I just don't have a need. I wish I had a need. Like, if I were to do it, I would probably get rid of my 18s, which doesn't make sense because I really like those speakers, and replace them with the 8s. But I think
I'm never getting rid of my 18s ever.
The sculpturally 18s are much more beautiful in presentation in my current setup than the 8s would ever be. 8s would look good on a table stand, wall bracket, or a floor stand behind the couch type of thing, where you don't really see much of it and just you actually see the presentation of the speaker. I have a Beolab 11 that's not even plugged in and connected. It's just sitting here for the look that I have to fucking pick up and move every time I vacuum and mop the seat, and I don't even use it.
Yeah,
but I like the look of it. You know what I mean? So it's what it is. Beolab 19 outer. It's a ABS plastic that the whole thing is made of. The only aluminum is those trim plates.
Yeah, otherwise there's no signal coming in and out of it.
Exactly. So yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't have any more places to put things, right? Like,
look, this setup, I fucking love this setup, right? But I don't use it that often either. Like, I'm currently making systems that I barely use. Like, and B&O should be very goddamn thankful for idiots like us that buy systems that they don't really use.
Yeah, or the one that used to use be retired to another room, but at some point you run out of the rooms because the products that you retired you don't use as much, so therefore their life expectancy prolongs, right? Because you're not burning them for hours. So now from something that would have lasted maybe 5 more years on the wall, currently being turned on every day, is now 10, 15 because it's on the wall somewhere else in the other room that gets turned on maybe once a week, if not once a month.
Yeah, and I'm not much in selling it anymore.
Neither am I. I like to keep my B&Os. It's a piece of history too. Like, there's, I have a Beo Center too, for God's sakes, as well. Beo Center 9000 or 9100 something downstairs. Like, I have shit in the storage that I don't even know I have till I go through it. So I don't get rid of B&O easy because I like it. And the nice thing is that no matter what and no matter how, there's still a way to connect it somehow, somewhere, for whatever reason, especially like older speakers.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I really bought and sold anything was with the 9000 and the Lab 3s, and then and that was playing around with going over 5.1.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I found my love of 17s, I was kind of stuck again.
So yeah,
I mean, and I also I have a set of 8s, right? And I kind of don't need them, but they're lovely speakers. But I also don't see myself changing all my 17s for 8s. That's just nonsense.
Maybe use them as your fronts for the office, but you have a BeoSound.
No, I mean, the semi-official reason I bought them is because I can hang one of them in the walking where I can DPL them and use them as a really fancy remote control.
That's how ridiculous it gets sometimes, right?
Yeah. Because on the other side, where the other one will hang, I will never ever really walk other than to vacuum.
and wipe it stop. Yeah. That's it.
But
it's true. Like it's I guess I don't know if we're the unfortunate ones that had ran out, but I've had clients that they bought the house, put the fucking BNO in it, and they moved and they rebought the new system, but left the old system, sold it with the house because it upped the value, not dramatically, but it's still, you make more money off of a BNO system than any other AB system installed in the home, bar none. And then they moved on with something else, but they still took like a BeoVision 755 because he loved the look of that TV. Fuck that, I'm taking it. This damn was all dented up, fucked up because they had a big dog, right? So just throw a ball and things suffer. But he just loved that TV. To this day, it's running. So, and yeah, it's just there's always that with people. They love their BNO.
Ed says, I have a pair of Beolab red lines that are not being used to keep them because of the looks. Yeah, exactly.
To that point, I have a BeoVision 5 sitting in my mom's fucking basement, bro. Perfectly working, but like, what are you going to hook up to it nowadays? A hose? Fuck all.
Nintendo 64?
Yeah, something like I'm thinking actually to, once I go back to Calgary to visit, I'll go to a pawn shop, buy like a old PlayStation 2 or whatever, just so Levi, my nephew, can have something to like geek out on old school games. So yeah, the case is only for transmission. There's no call control, but the call control is literally on your headphones anyways.
Yeah.
But I guess then like they're wirelessly wired if they're hooked to the case.
Yeah.
Eric, wait. Just wait. Fucking chillax. There is a solution coming for you.
I'm not sure if it'll be the 5.1 you want, but it'll be something. It'll be more than a stage.
I'm certain that their BNO is going to run a program at some point to trade in the old stage for the new one. Just like they did with the theater, trade in your stage and get fucking whatever off on the theater. Remember, that was a hook at one point.
I hope they keep current prices for stages when they do that, because I paid so goddamn little for mine when I bought it new.
Yeah, it's obscene now. But
I mean, they're on drop.com, I think they're $1,200 because of like overstock or whatever. But I think I paid less when they were new. Because I bought them like week 1 of launch or something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember what they were. I think they were like $1,100, $10.99 or $1,100 or $11.99. I think there was somewhere around there.
I think they were €1,250, but I bought 2 and then sold 1. And because I bought 2, I got a discount.
Nice.
Well, it's how it goes, right? Like you can sell me 1 and I'll just pay whatever, but can't you give me a discount? Like you can sell 2 today.
So yeah, no, I have 4 BeoSound 2s to surround my stuff in music gallery. You think a pair of 8s would sound better?
Yes, but it will sound different. And is it 1 pair versus 4 2s, or is it 4 8s?
Like, do you have 4? Like, what are they connected to? Because if they're basically stereo paired quadraphonic through the BeoLink.
Yeah, or is it just multi-roomed? Because if you just multi-room them in the same room, right? Like, yes, you're in the center of music, but it's...
Well, the way I'm understanding that, I have 4 BeoSound 2s to surround myself with. So I'm assuming you're sitting in the center of a quadraphonic position, right? So then you have left and right, and then you have left and right linked to the same experience, and then you basically have quadraphonic sound, right?
Yeah, but if you multi-room them, right? If you don't stereo pair them, then you just have sort of your single point.
Well, you're still multi-rooming both pairs in one room.
Yeah. But that sounds very different, right? Because your left and right separation is on one point on all points.
Well, you do left and right, and then if you need, you swap the rows on the back ones to left and right, right? So they sound, you have the left and right, and you have quadraphonic, but it's still not quadraphonic. It's just double stereo. So the Lab 8s will sound more focused and they will sound better. And I think the bass response is better on the Lab 8s that there is on the BeoSound 2. I think personally, BeoSound 2 is few grams too light for its top bass performance, because I find it starts to almost bounce.
Yeah, it needs to sit on something that is quite heavy.
Yeah.
Because if I turn it up in my kitchen, right, like I like my countertop starts moving.
Mm-hmm.
Now I like my countertops aren't granite, so maybe that's the problem. But so I don't know. It's hard to say. Yes, in general, it'll sound better, but it very much depends on, like, if you're driving your BeoSound 2s through your theater, then the difference may not be as big. It'll definitely sound different.
Yes.
Because, like, a BeoSound 2 has that acoustic lens, effectively, that makes it all very airy. Now, the wide on the 8s does a very good job of approximating that, but it's not exactly the same.
Yes. I don't know. I think that the contour will meet its end soon, because if the stage is discontinued, I really don't see, unless they do Contour 2.0 and they redesign the back chassis to house the new soundbar in one way or the other, when it's again stripped off of its aluminum and pretty and grills and whatever else have you that it comes with. If based on the design that I've seen,
them to do that.
I don't think the design of it will allow for that.
No, but maybe it's not exactly the Contour, but I think they will make an integrated package a la Le Contour like that again.
I hope so. But based on what I've seen in confidential photos, I don't see how that'll fit inside. But then again, it's the same thing. Like, I don't see how the stage will fit inside the Contour box, right? That it's stripped of all its pretty.
It in.
Well, it's stripped of all its pretty, right? Because the pretty is on the other side of it.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. But yes, there is a new soundbar coming, 100%. We'll see.
You say it's too big, but it depends on what chassis size you want to make, right? Because
that's right.
It's not going to be as thick, like as back to front as a theater, nowhere near. So if you can always make something around it.
The small TV sizes are dying. The small TV sizes are really dying off, man. Like, it's really weird to see anything below 40 inches now to be installed, like anywhere. It's 55s, 50s minimum, and that's because of the wall restriction and all that nonsense. But I really like, gone are the days of having a kitchen TV sitting on the countertop, right? That doesn't exist now. It's somewhere fuck off on the wall bracket, and it's a 65, so you can't see it from how far you are, regardless, piped in through your infilling speakers and so on and so forth. So it's little different than what the yesteryears used to be. And even for European standards, I think the TVs are growing in sizes inevitably.
Yeah. Look, in the last bedroom I had a 55-inch OLED, and I thought that was big, right? And then moving here, we
55, you're a pussy, bro.
It's slight. Well, there was also a sale, right? Like, there was this sale of this, was it the C3 65-inch? Was it? I think it was Sam's Club or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, with a rebate, it was like $1,200 or something. And the 55-inch was $1,100. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna get 10 more inches for $100, right? Like, we'll just adjust. We'll just adjust to the size. And now it's like, besides it looking a bit weird when you come in, because it's like it's a huge piece of black. When you turn it on, it's like, this is really fucking nice.
I've said it to a lot of clients that even that milled through Quebec-Son, when I was like pulled into the sales and whatever, and just, because they weren't, they're coming from a 740 into a 55 and they think it's too big. And I'm like, no, go with the 65. He's like, oh my Lord, like that's too much. I'm like, no, it's gonna be too big for first 15 minutes. That's it. Then we'll talk back when you thank me for it. And I went for some bullshit service call in there to like the remote control, because those early days of the theater software, right? And parity, Bluetooth parity, blah blah blah. I come in and they're like, Willie, you're so right. Like 65 is perfect size. Like this is perfect size. I'm like, it is. Like, like essentially your 740 is almost the size of a 55 or a 50-inch screen.
Yes.
With the bezel, right, that it has already. So you're optically used to looking at this large screen, except that the pictures in it is fucking small.
Yeah, your BV12 65 is the same size as a 77-inch display.
Exactly. That's the point, right? So once people get past that, then they understand.
Erland asks, hi guys, I have a theater with a pair of 18s, 19s, 17s in the rear. I'm contemplating getting 8s as fronts. How's their music sound quality compared to my existing rig? Look, 18s are so goddamn wonderful, and they sound the best they've ever had with a theater, and you have a 19. It's on the margin at that point, because you're going to be offloading a lot of the lower end capability to the 19 anyway. Would I recommend? I would maybe recommend adding them to it. I wouldn't necessarily recommend replacing anything of it. If you want to make your ultimate setup with your theater, what I would say is get a pair of 8s, right? Have the 18s up front still with your 19, move the 8s rears and put your 17s on the ceiling as surround rears or surround heights. That's going to be fucking amazing.
From optical perspective, depends on if you go with the Lab 8s with the wood lamellas. I don't know what your theater cover is. If it's a gray melange, then it doesn't make any difference. But I optically find it distracting to have the Lab 18s with the wood lamellas of the theater, because the profiles don't match. That's my OCD ticket.
Well, in that case, 8s up front, 18s rear, 17s on the ceiling. Whatever you do, those 17s go to the ceiling.
17s go to the ceiling no matter what. But yes, that's what I would do. I would put the 18s in the back, because then they're a little bit higher than the 8s ever would be as far as the tweeter location is for the dispersion of the surround effects.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't buy the floor stand for the 8s if you can avoid it. I don't like them that much. I would buy the wall mounts, and wherever you can mount the 8s.
Or even table. If your theater's on a table, then put them right beside it, and just it'll kill the fuck out of it all.
I mean, 8s sound extremely good, right? It's just that with the theater, you've given such a bump to your 18s and 17s that gap is significantly closed.
Do you have your BeoLab 19 at the front or at the back of the theater? Theater at the front of the room or back of the room? That would be my question also, Erland. Yeah, because I find that a 19 should be at the back, because the theater can do a lot on its own at the front and help the rear side, and it'll equalize the bass on that guitar string theory, basically.
Especially if you put the theater and 8 up front, then move the 19 to the rear.
100%.
I mean, the emerges heights is decent, right? But 17s are like the emerges.
The problem with the emerge is that if you look at your dB outputs, if you didn't readjust them, then your 0 dB point reference, which normally would be the center channel of the theater, is now emerge, because that is the lowest capable speaker in the setup, and based off of that, everything else gauges. So if you are doing that, then I would highly recommend tuning the system or retuning the system with a dB meter manually, and increasing everything by the negative value of what the center channel is. So if your center channel is probably going to be minus 1.5 to 2 dBs based on the fact that it's with the emerges, you add let's say it's negative 2 dBs, you add 2 dBs to every single speaker in the setup, including the emerges. And at the end of the day, it's calibrated because it's assuming that at some point you're gonna listen to it at volume 90, which I don't know how crazy you are. Everything has ABL, they'll protect itself, but you can drive the piss out of it up to 65, 70 without any issue of ABL really touching anything on the BeoLab or on the BeoSound Emerge, because they're height, they're effect channels at this point.
Yeah.
But they gauge themselves as a full range speaker on the test on the room compensation. So that's where I would adjust for that 100%. I've done it with the Emerges. I didn't like it.
If you're going to put the 17s up to the ceiling, get the Emerges out of it, and you have a much better all-round system.
Yes,
because like your
stereo barrier emerges
link,
to another room.
Yeah,
the weakest link area emerges.
Yeah, and it's going to be. I mean, the difference between 17s, 18s, 19, and 8s is so close. You're going to have a very good sounding system.
The major difference between 18s and the 17 is a richer bass response on the 17, but richer treble response on the 18s because they're acoustically lensed, where the 17s are very directional. So those somewhat would have to be pointed towards the general direction of where you're going to be sitting or where your ear is.
Yeah, just move the 19 to the rear. You'll be good.
But yeah, 19 in the rear is the best. That's what she said.
I know we're spending your money now, but
we've spent a lot of people's money on this podcast and they were happy with it. So I don't regret a single advice.
If you can swing it, that's what I would do, right? I wouldn't like if you say I have to, I don't know, get rid of my 17s to buy the 8s, then I personally wouldn't. But if you can just add them, if you can add the 8s to this setup, yeah, go for it. That's going to be great.
Ed, stay the fuck away from Horizon, please. Please. The boards are more or less inaccessible now, so if it burns out, you're fucked. And stay away from it. It's a nice TV, but quite honestly, V140 versus Horizon 40, V140 sounded better.
You're better off buying a V1 now.
Yes.
I mean, they're more reliable. They break less. You don't have.
And it's a pre-ASC platform, yeah. So just put in an Apple TV, or like I've done with Roku 4K Express. It's one of those that actually can live off of the USB power directly off the back of the TV itself. So everything is built in within the case. So I don't have any issues. And you have Netflix, you have, which people are in masses now unsubscribing for, which I'm not going to go into in depth, and YouTube's, all this shit is on it, man. I have everything on the platform through puck control. Yes, it is slower compared to the theater and the Bluetooth connection and the whole ARC thing and blah blah blah, and the control, like, it's more snappier. But if you appreciate the old school, it's definitely not as sluggish as BeoSystem 3.
Yes,
but it freaking works and it sounds great.
It also just doesn't break, not really, anyway, unless you're
no.
But the Horizon is a crapshoot. Like, it may just not turn on some days, right? Because Horizon you have to reset it because it's Android.
And it's also Android, yeah. Horizon is it's a Russian roulette, man, and you have 2 rounds in the drum instead of just 1. So it one day will misfire. No good.
Yes, Erland, your iPhone is perfectly fine to use as a sound meter because it's relative. So if your meter is off, right, it's relative to the rest and it's still the same. So it's not about the actual number, but it's the relativity to all each other.
The only thing that I would point to that statement is just make sure that your microphone hole port isn't plugged in with debris.
Yes.
That's it. And that's the last advice for today's podcast.
You probably hold it upside down like that.
Yeah, I have a dB meter that is, I think it was a paid app. I paid like $2, but it's the one that you can actually set for always like an upside down mode. So it's right side up, but the mic is up so you can measure correctly.
Yeah.
And I've sworn by it. I actually had put it against an actual dB meter, and the difference was 1/4 to 1/2 dB negligible.
Yeah. It's not that relevant anyway when you're doing relative measurements, not like precise sound measurements of actual output.
Yeah.
Because all you're doing is measuring output against each other, right? Like you're not measuring it in terms of like where's hearing damage or anything scientific.
Yeah. Tune in and enjoy the system, bro. That's also, I don't know what you're driving it with. BeoVision Horizon, I guess.
Theater.
It's just a theater. Yeah, just tune it proper. Honestly, first thing I would do, Erland, is move the 19 to the back and run the microphone all over again, bro. It's going to be a game changer for y'all.
Yeah.
So,
anyway, that's it for this week. Hope you all have a good week.
The moral of the story, don't be shy and buy the BeoGrace. They're fucking awesome.
Buy more B&O. B&O will thank you.
Buy more B&O, and we'll thank you too, because you'll have more questions about what's not working right.
Well, have a good one, everybody.
Thanks for watching. Bye.